Hello, dear friends. We talk now about the music typology of associative socionics. We consider such questions as difference and similarity about musical theories of Valentin Petrushin and Olga Tangemann. Valentin Petrushin is a musician and professor of music at the university in Moscow, and he has got his interesting theories which are similar to mine and can be related to socionics. What are similarities and differences in this author's views on music theory? We consider that. We consider manifestation of the 40 Ps in music. So how these different types of energy expressed in music, which is good because in previous video I described personality types by type of psychic energy for groups, and now we consider it how it's expressed in music and bring some examples as well. When I was writing about music, I had to find the words to describe it, and that's of course not easy for me. It wasn't easy. And I had to associate, why is it associative socionics and associative theories? Because the ideas and theories come together by the idea, by association. Yeah, I was thinking about it. For example, association functions with colors. Okay, rainbow, 8 colors, 8 functions. Then what else? Chakras, energy of chakras also have got colors. So that's how associations come together. And to describe music typology, I also was reading about Petrushin and found this interesting information. It doesn't mean that I could not relate to something else, but I wanted to have, because I'm not a musician myself, I wanted to have more professional view on music as well. So let's start how I described. If I describe Superego by rationality, extraversion, and dynamics, so how it can be expressed in music? Strong, extroverted, purposeful, and controlled flow of energy, like one direction, directional, moving to the goal music. This is the music of ego, correlates with the signs of extraversion, rationality, and dynamics. What interesting Petrushin wrote about it, which I can connect to. He said that the music like this associate with minor key music. No, sorry, not minor, minor key music, like much. I was thinking why minor, minor, major and minor. Choleric temperament, yes, of course. We associate energy, ego, with choleric temperament. And he associated it also with Carl Jung archetypes. He used the archetype hero. Great. It suits us very well. Okay, let's look at the it types. Energy it in music corresponds to a strong, extroverted, uncontrollable, and multi-directional flow of energy, which associated with irrationality and statics. Uncontrollable, multi-directional, it's more about irrationality, yet unusual music. And Petrushin associate such music with sanguine temperament, fast major key music, dance, and the child archetype from Jung theory of archetypes. Yes, I just repeat because I think I didn't emphasize it. Energy ego associated with fast minor key music, and TP it with fast major key music, dance. Energy superego in music corresponds to a weak, introverted, purposeful, controlled flow of energy, purposeful and controlled rationality. Introversion rationality in statics, and Petrushin associates it with phlegmatic temperament and slow major key music, and archetype old man. And TP superid corresponds to a weak, multidirectional and uncontrollable flow of energy. Weak introversion, multidirectional, uncontrollable, irrational, which correlates with introversion, rationality, and dynamics. And Petrushin associated with slow minor key music, song, melancholic temperament, and archetype of mother. Yeah, that's what we need to remember, because when we type music, we need to know this information. If you are not sure how this music sounds, like slow minor music or slow major music, fast minor, fast major music, you can find this kind of music on internet and listen to it. So this is a similarity between the theories of mine and Valentin Petrushin. So Valentin Petrushin uses temperaments. We also associate type of energy with temperaments. Archetypes of Carl Jung, that's what I don't do. I only associate energy superid with archetype shadow, but no other associations of archetypes in the theory of mine. He also associates music with colors by Max Lusher. He's using Max Lusher definitions of colors, the ones which Max Lusher used. And I use just traditional psychological description of colors, and I use not Max Lusher, but all colors, all the palitra, all colors. So, and now we're coming to describe in more detail ego music. Well, ego music must to give people adrenaline, to push them, to motivate them to action. Yeah, when the person is sleepy and he needs to do some work and some exercise, it should be emotional music, strong in sound, and helping people to fight challenges, mobilizing people for action. So that people can confront challenge and pave their way to victory. Ego music has got a clear rational rhythm, like everything is in order. The speed is normal. For rational music, all speeds is normal. We cannot say that it is too fast or too slow. This is a feature of irrational music. Irrational music is extroverted is too fast, can be often or just too fast. If it is too fast, it is it music, and if it is too slow, it is superego. But irrational music, like ego music, it will be absolutely normal. But what it can have, it can be very emotionally charged. It can change, because it is a dynamic music, it can change the sound, volume of the sound. It can be slow and then very strong in sound, or it can be just like a match, very clear rhythm, rhythm we associate with extroverted logic. And emotions can be very beautifully and very adequately realized in music, expressed in music. So what are examples? Examples, for example, Phantom of the Opera, Notre Dame de Paris, the ballet, all kind of emotional music. Freddie Mercury, the show must go on. The music which can inject you with energy and inspire you to action, inspire your confidence and believe in yourself that you can do things. Well, it can help. We are saying about music, about therapeutic abilities of music. So if the person is sluggish and down and melancholic, to take him out of this state, yeah, and to move them to action, exercise, or whatever, you need to have this powerful ego music. Superego music is also ordinary in speed, also predictable, like there is a structure in music and it is repeating and you know what to expect. This is rationality. There will be not like something unusual, suddenly abrupt, or unusual instruments or unusual sounds. There will be nothing overly interesting for irrational types, let's say that. If ego music presents challenge and wants to mobilize energy of the person, then superego music is free from pressure, free from challenges, or doesn't mobilize you. It brings you more into reflective, calm space, because associated with phlegmatic temperament. So that you relax, but not to relax it. Think about love, focus on relationship. Gives you how to say the state of peaceful, comfortable state of your soul, because our soul is in unison with music. We love the music which, of course, we can listen to different music depending on what need we have got. If we want to dance, it will be dance music. If we need to work out on challenges, that may be powerful like a music. But most of the time we just need the music which corresponds to our internal world. So this is a calm music. We can compare it with prayer in the church, yeah, so that's no contrast in music, nothing like that. On the other hand, it's music, especially songs, it may tell you about the challenges in life, about how people live, and shows the perseverance in righteousness, So that's how direct people to moral values. What are examples of this kind of music? Schubert Serenada, Ave Maria, Demis Rousses, Backstreet Boys, Cliff Richard. You can find lots of time music, Superego music from these singers. Ну, например, for example, Boyzone, No Matter What, Father and Son, Neil Diamond, Song Blue, Hello Again. Just a few examples. It music. It music is free from stress, free from challenges. It just brings you into positive mood. Forget the struggles of the world, problems. Just enjoy yourself and dance, for example. Have a good time. We say that this music strong in sound, extroverted, very relaxed and static, repeated rhythm. Why it can be irrational and uncontrollable? For example, in the music where dominates an E, extroverted intuition, it can develop in a melody, like the same sort of melody but slightly changing, always a little bit new instruments coming in, and so on, like different variations of the same music brought with different instruments, different rhythms. When you see this kind of changes, then it is possibly most likely extroverted intuition in music. So this music does not require the concentration of energy to overcome obstacles, no difficulties, just enjoying time. For example, King Africa, La Bomba, Elvis Presley, All Shook Up, Beatles, Twist and Shout, Madonna, Hang Up, and so on. People say that this is pop music. So music, it dominates the pop music world. And now we come to Superego music. Superego music is melancholic, but it can be sometimes like very soft melancholic music, almost reminding you phlegmatic music of Superego, peaceful and calm, with a very slight melancholy, like with reflection and so on. But if you feel it, that is already a sign of Superego music. This music is weak in energy, like Superego music as well, so it's quieter, introversion. But because this music is a dynamic music, it can be changing to loud music as well. So there could be changes like that. This music irrational because it can bring absolutely unusual sound. For example, sound of animals, like insects running, on a glass or something. All these SI unusual effects of sound can be there. It can be usually compared to it music, which can be very speedy, very fast speedy. This music can be very, very slow, sometimes like coming to none, and then suddenly appears again. So whatever music it is, it helps the person to go deeper into the world of imagination, or very calming, very relaxing music. Somehow melancholy fits well to the music like that. This music can also possess inadequate expression of emotions, like animal sound, very strong and very loud expression of emotion. If you hear that very unusual sound of emotions, then you relate it to Superego music. Why it happens like that? Because introverted types, I would say logical Superego types, like Balzac, intuitive logical introvert, or Gabin, sensory logical introvert. They have got vulnerable ethics of emotions, and they find it hard to express their emotions, and that's why they listen to the music which is emotionally charged, but in a very dark way, expressed in a very unusual sound, not an adequate expression of emotion, but more like animal expression of emotion, animal in pain or something like that, when there is a scream and what's the word? So they can relate to it. It's easier for them when they listen to that music. They almost like express their own painful emotions. What else we find interesting in Superego music? Yes, it can be changing from very low sound, very quiet, to very high sound, very strong sound. Or it can be different. It can just go like in the same sound, speedy sound of movement, and then at the end suddenly abrupts. Yeah, very abrupt sudden end. That can also happen. Superego music has got tension, something which Superego music doesn't have. They both quiet and introverted in sound volume, but Superego music, melancholic or tension. And if you feel this tension, if you're running somewhere or the car is driving somewhere and then stop, sudden stop, that is a sign of Superego music. And if you think that way, if people have got these emotional states, sometimes they're sad, sometimes they feel very down, you do want to listen to the music like this. So all music, whatever it is different by color, by sound, it's all good for us. And there is a beauty in everything. That's what's also important to remember. And this music helps us to, through the difficult times as well, to heal ourselves through listening to this music, to go to the depths of sadness, to recover later. Because how people say our emotions is like a pendulum. So if you have if you are very sad, you cry, but then you feel easier, isn't it? So this music is important. I will just give you a few examples. Massive Attack, Future Proof, Inertia Creeps, Placebo, Sleeping with Ghosts, Pink Floyd, Comfortably Numb, Beethoven, Moonlight Sonata. So there is quite a few of them in the book. So I hope you understand now the difference, and you will be able to differentiate and to identify this music as ego, id, superego, superid. But also what you need to remember, that music is complex, especially if you listen to classical music. there is so many different energies. So some examples of music, some songs might not feel very clear to one particular type of energy, but might be profile music, I call it this way, when we can say, oh, that music is definitely introverted. Like, I cannot say exactly it is superego, but it is definitely introverted. Another music might be definitely extroverted and have elements of both extroverted energies. Sometimes music is rational, you know, so the music can have at least two different strong type energies expressed in it. And sometimes you listen to the music and you can say what is missing. Like, you can say, so, oh, that's definitely irrational music or something. You can say what is there or what is not there, but you not always can be certain about every music, because music and painting is art, and art is not easy to rationalize in theory. However, I wish you luck, and while you trying to understand music, you will progress and improve your skills. Good luck.